Take control of your finances and watch your budget come alive when you get in the cash envelope method. Say goodbye to overspending, embrace financial discipline, and celebrate the freedom that comes with every dollar has a purpose mentality. Ready to turn your financial goals into reality? It all starts with a simple envelope. For many years, cash was the only thing we used for purchases. Then all of a sudden, credit was introduced, buying things on credit, essentially not paying for things that you could with money that you actually have, which is the reason why the cash envelope system has become so popular. Today, we're going to break it down, guys, and really the utilization of this is a choice when it comes to personal finance, and a lot of people are finding this works incredibly well because guess what, when the cash is gone, the spending is removed in its entirety. Now, the definition and the purpose of the cash system is making a monthly budget and using specific envelopes as expense categories, and when again you put money in that expense category, that is the only money that you're going to. Now, this helps individuals really control spending, staying within a budget, and achieving the financial goals much faster because again, when that envelope is empty, you do not borrow from other envelopes. You specifically have this system that is in place to really live and really tried and true with the cash method. Now, to really get this started, guys, creating a budget, this is a zero-based approach. Now, similar to other budgeting methods, this has every dollar has a purpose. So every dollar that you're going to put in these envelopes, even with the final envelope being saving or debt repayment, you can add extra envelopes or add extra money to that envelope, which is again going to be kind of that catch-all of what you have over as the extra expend. It's not used to cushion the other envelopes. It is used as a repayment strategy. And again, every dollar that you get paid is going to have a purpose. Now with this, you can really identify the budgeting categories where you really overspend. We see this in grocery, we see it in restaurants, we see it in gas. There is a tendency to overspend, just like they say, if you go shopping when you're hungry, groceries are going to be a lot more. When you go out to eat, it might even curb you from, let's say, getting an appetizer or getting a dessert. Drinking or getting drinks when you go out to eat, really sticking to the main dishes and looking for really creative ways to cut that spending. Make the and fill cash envelopes each budget to the line, guys, allocating the budget amount in cash. Now, this again is very important. When you do this budgeting method, if you're budgeting, X amount of dollars for your utilities, you are being logical and you are really using concrete data to fill those cash envelopes, that you're not just guessing what you're putting in there. Now, the spending discipline, this is really one of the biggest parts, guys. You have to make sure that each cash envelope is only for the designated category. This is not going to be, again, taking some money out of one envelope, moving it into an envelope. When a envelope runs out of money, there is no additional spending in this category. That is it, guys. This really can eliminate a lot of that want category that people do have. Now, this system, of course, comes with some massive advantages, keeping individuals on track with their budget, building out the budget, and really reinforcing the financial discipline of only using the money that you spend. And again, if you look at a paycheck and let's say you get paid $1,500, you take $1,500 in cash. When that money is gone, you have nothing left. You are not borrowing. You are not paying interest. You are not overdrawing your account. You are not seeing fees in there. It makes it incredibly difficult to overspend when it comes to the cash method. And it also holds the users very high accountable to the money that they have, because again, when the money is gone, that is it. You do not spend. But this method does come with a couple disadvantages. Number one, it requires you to get cash. That is right, guys. This means you're going to have to go to your bank or your credit union, but you are going to have access to physical cash. Now, with that, of course, becomes a liability or a risk because you have to manage that physical cash, which means you have to have a place, especially if you do have a lot of cash itself. Again, if you're talking about, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 that you're putting into this cash envelope method, you're going to have to bring back physically $3,000 in cash to go ahead and stuff those envelopes. Now, also, this does restrict spending to only available for cash. Now, again, this could be a disadvantage for a lot of people because there's a lot of places that, unfortunately, at this day and age, will not take cash at all, which is kind of pretty tough. I know, like my kids' school, they do not take cash. A lot of extracurricular activities, they do not take cash. You're going to have to really be creative with this. And again, sticking to those cash envelopes. Even utilizing, again, kind of a workaround where could you put it onto a card or a prepaid card, something of that nature that doesn't have any fees associated with it, just to pay for one single thing. Again, because they don't accept cash, you do have to have a workaround. Now, the envelope system versus the cash stuffing method. Now, cash stuffing is huge when it comes to social media. This is a trend that actually blew up on TikTok, and it has kind of grown from there, guys. Now, the envelope system is kind of the same, and the envelope system is actually the older method that people essentially used to use. I know when I took a finance class when I was much younger, the envelope system was what they utilized when it came to the monthly budget. But now it has been kind of recoined as this cash stuffing, and that is what a lot of people have been using. Now, of course, online purchases, again, this is very hard. The most effective system with this is the in-store purchases. However, you can still use this for online purchases, track the online spending, budget the amounts that are in the envelope. You're going to use an alternative way to purchase whatever is there. Again, this could be the utilization of a debit card. Notice I did not say credit card because we are not borrowing money to actually have fees or have interest or accumulate debt. We are using debit cards and we are using cash. So it is 100% on a cash method. And again, you have to be a little bit creative because online you can actually save a little bit of money, but you want to make sure that you're not overspending, that the money is actually in the account that you're using for that envelope itself. Now, managing low envelope balances. This again is very tough. Avoid borrowing from other envelopes when the money runs out. This is really looking at being intuitive, looking at finding creative ways to stretch your dollar for funds that are low in an envelope. Eating leftovers, it might be carpooling, it might be skipping, dinners that are out to eat. It might be really getting creative to make sure that you're sticking within this cash envelope. Now, dealing with emergencies, we really coin and we focus on the emergency fund. Super important, guys. Adjusting the budget in case of those emergency expenses, but consulting with your spouse or your accountability partner to make sure it is available. And this really breaks into what is a true emergency, guys. A tried and true emergency is an unexpected expense that comes out of the ordinary, that is sudden. Very important to realize that, guys. It is not something that, hey, I should have been budgeting for this for a multitude of years, or I should have been, budgeting for this for weeks or months, again, or years, depending on what it is. It should be built in your budget if you know it is going to be an expense. Now, the emergency expense, of course, does also, your car breaks down, you blow out a tire, you have an unexpected medical expense, something that, again, is out of the ordinary. Now, avoid depleting the emergency fund or draining your other envelopes for unplanned expenses. This is really the accountability piece, guys. If you have an emergency fund, you do not want to use the emergency fund to supplement the envelopes. But even the same way, guys, you don't want to utilize those envelopes to supplement the unplanned expense or supplement the envelopes, vice versa. You don't want it to go back either way. And the final one we look at, guys, is the surplus at the end. Celebrate if you have money left in any of your envelopes in the end of the month. That means that you've cut your expenses and you've actually saved a little bit of money. Allocate the surplus towards your financial goals, building that emergency fund, paying off debt, which is very, very important because, again, as you continue to go through this method, as you continue to have a surplus at the end, because you're being very disciplined, you can actually pay down some of that debt. When the debt is paid down, you're going to have more money that you can allocate to those cash envelopes, and the cycle is going to continue throughout your entire financial career, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the cash stuffing method or the envelope stuffing method, and I'll catch you in the next video.